That's your.
Okay, it looks like it's 6:30, which I still think is an early meeting, but on that note, let's go ahead and get started with the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. So we have item 12G. I can read my handwriting. We need to add to the consent agenda. Did everybody get a chance to see that?
Yes.
Does anybody have anything? We'll add that to the consent agenda, and then does anybody have anything they would like to pull out for further discussion on the consent agenda? Okay. So on that note, I already lost my. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to section 2. We have a public hearing. So we don't have review for the first one.
Not for the first one.
Okay, so for the public hearing, this is going to be a supplemental budget for fiscal year 2024 to 25. We're going to open the public hearing. Do I need time for that? No.
Yeah, yes.
So we'll open the public hearing at 6:31 p.m. And then we'll have a presentation from the budget officer. So Ms. Blake, could you do that?
Thank you. Thank you, council. Please find attached supplemental budget number 3 for fiscal year 2025. This supplemental action transfers excess funds from the sewer bond fund back to the sewer fund. This related debt service was paid off in fiscal year 24, and now that the financials have been audited, staff is prepared to close out the sewer bond fund and return the remaining balance to the sewer fund. And with that, I'll turn it back to council for discussion.
Okay. So the next step is there any public comments or questions about this? Yeah, I see nobody online except for Chief Carmen. So let's go ahead and close the public hearing at 6:32. Nice and quick.
Yeah.
So on that, unless there's any other discussion from council or city, we can call for a motion to adopt it. Or
I make a motion to adopt the resolution approving supplemental budget for the fiscal year 2024-2025 budget, resolution number 804-2025. I'll second the motion.
we have a motion and a second. All approved, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Looks like it passes. Okay. Okay, so next we have another public hearing. So this one has a little bit more of a script. So let's go ahead.
Is Polly online? Polly is online.
We do not have Holly, so let's go ahead and move the public hearing to a little bit later in the day, if that's okay with everyone. We will need her to discuss that. So what do we do next? How about, let's jump to number 5, because we do have our banner design presentation people here. So I'm really excited about this. You guys want to come up and just share with us the process of, to get us to where we're at right now.
Hello again. I'm Zara. I'm the president of North Marion National Art Honor Society.
I'm Luke Bomar. I'm the vice president of the Honor Society.
I heard your suggestions last time and I appreciate the feedback a lot. I made the changes that you requested and I added a couple more things that me and our advisor talked about as long as the rest of our club. Me and one of our club members who isn't here right now, Colin Farmacher, drove to the edge of Hubbard and tried to see like what we can see from our point of view at the time. We also went on Google Street View and we took the main buildings that you see in Hubbard and you recognize them as being buildings in Hubbard, and I tried to incorporate them into the design without like giving them identical representation of what you're seeing. So we have the Hubbard Church, basically the Burger Hut, and then just another building shape along with the evergreen trees that are in the whole town. But you have to decide, and we'd love to receive some feedback if you'd like me to.
Sounds good. Councilor Zadi, do you have any thoughts or ideas?
I really like it. I like the additions to it, and I like the fact that you put in city Aggies in there. It looks really good. The only question I had was, little orange sign or yellow sign right here, is that a sign?
Last time you guys told me we couldn't, it is a sign, you told me we couldn't directly advertise one business over the other, so it's supposed to be like the silhouette of the Burger Hut sign. It can get taken out, or like it can say City of Hubbard on it if you would like me to put that on there
It
too.
was really maybe like welcome to Hubbard or something. You can use it as a sign, be kind of neat. But otherwise, man, it's beautiful. It's great.
Yeah, I'm 100% agree. I like it. It's nice. That yellow rectangle was kind of standing out there, but yeah, welcome to Hubbard or City of Hubbard, something along those lines. Fantastic. I don't know how well they're going to be able to see that high above their heads, but something along there would be really nice.
Yeah, no, I agree. It looks great. Good job.
No.
I wonder if you just muted
The color down.
the color down, like, because I would agree with you with that readability. I mean, if they are only going 35 miles an hour, but,
Where are they doing that?
but also there's a lot of foot traffic, and so you're as a driver, you're paying attention more to the foot traffic. So I do wonder about like with the readability.
Yeah, and even downtown, when we have them up on those posts, it's still gonna be kind of hard to read. I don't know how big that's gonna be, but even,
Right.
4 or 8 feet above their heads, it's gonna be hard to focus on those words. So, yeah, but yeah.
What if we said you do both, where one has like welcome or something?
I could also do like a hop or like, these are very popular in this area. I don't know how well you'd be able to see it, but we could do a couple different.
Maybe if we put a tiny hop, it's gonna look like some other.
Yeah,
sweet
so,
stuff.
yeah.
I would say either the welcome to Hubbard, and then as people are walking, they might be able to read it. And I believe they're gonna go on a 25-mile-an-hour stretch. Just
Is that what you
clarify
said?
to everybody.
Second gas, so how about the rest?
These will be on Third Street, right
Yeah.
along the businesses, so.
Or maybe welcome at a diagonal across there, so the font's a little bigger.
Just for public record, it is a 25-mile-an-hour zone. But yeah, no, I think the additions and changes you guys made are great. I appreciate listening to our feedback and going through all the steps to actually look at the city from the ground and get a feel. I'm really excited to put these up, so thank you for that. And I think, do we need to, actually first, members of the city, are there any feedback or ideas that you guys have?
No, council, thank you. I think for next steps, since there was some direction, we would need to bring this back to council for the June meeting, for a final decision.
Well, we should still have time to get them up after Hop Festival then too, anyways.
Yeah, so it'll, once I get the proper file format, it only takes me a couple weeks to get them printed. So that's plenty of time to get them before the Hop Festival, or after the Hop
Yeah.
Festival, get them up.
Excellent. Well, sounds like we're right on track. Thank you for all of your work, and I'll look forward to seeing you in June with the hopefully final rendering. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we do have Holly online. Holly, can you hear us okay?
I can. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, great. Okay. So let's go ahead and open the public hearing. I have a script, so I'm going to follow the script on this one. Okay. Good evening. My name is Joseph Steininger, and I'm the council president of Hubbard, and I will be presiding over this hearing. This is the time and place to set forth the public hearing in the matter of legislative amendment LA 2025-1, a package of amendments to the Hubbard Development Code in compliance with recent state housing bills. The hearing is now open. It is 6:40 p.m. Oregon land use law requires several items to be read into the record. At the beginning of every public hearing, the city planner will review this material. Your patience is appreciated as she goes through all of these statements. Holly,
Thank you, Council President. The applicable substantive criteria upon which this case will be decided are found in the Hubbard Development Code, the City of Hubbard Comprehensive Plan, and the Oregon statewide planning goals. The specific criteria are summarized in the staff report and will be reviewed at this hearing. All testimony and evidence received during this public hearing must be directed toward these approval criteria or to such other rule, law, regulation, or policy which you believe to apply to this case. An issue which may be the basis for an appeal shall be raised no later than the close of the record of the final hearing on this case. Such issues shall be raised with and accompanied by statements or evidence sufficient to afford this body and the parties to this hearing an adequate opportunity to respond to each issue. This public hearing will proceed with the staff report and any other comments from governmental agencies in attendance, followed by all those who are in support of the code amendments. All those opposed to the code amendments will then be allowed to speak, followed by those with general comments who are neither for nor against the amendments. All speakers should try to limit your comments to 3 minutes. Please state your name clearly into the microphone and provide city staff your mailing address for the record before your comments. Please try to avoid repetition. If someone else has already expressed the same thoughts, it's perfectly all right to state that you agree with the statements of that previous speaker. Please be assured that everyone will have an opportunity to speak. If you have documents, maps, or letters that you wish to have considered by this body, they must be formally placed in the record of this proceeding. To do that, either before or after you speak, please submit the material to city staff. Thank you.
So with that out of the way, I need to ask the audience and the city councilors a few questions. So first, are there any objections to the notice that was published? Okay. Let's see.
No objections.
Second, are there any declarations of bias by any member of this body?
No, definitely.
Okay. 3, are there any declarations of conflict by any members of the body?
No.
And I still see nobody else online. So on that note, City Planner Holly, please give us the staff report.
Wonderful. I apologize for my late arrival. I thought there was another public hearing ahead of mine. You are fast and efficient.
That one took 1 minute.
I'm impressed. If only they all took 1 minute. For the record, my name is Holly Byram, and I work for the Mid-Willamette Valley Council of Governments. My goal this evening as your contract city planner is to help the city council understand the decision criteria before you. tonight's hearing is on a legislative amendment, file number LA 2025-01. We're calling this the Housing Bills Compliance Package. As the council is aware, the COG received funding to assist the city of Hubbard and others come into compliance with some recent housing bills. The priority, of course, being House Bill 3395 or the Housing Omnibus Bill. There were some provisions within 3395 that apply specifically to cities with populations greater than 2,500. And there are a couple other recent bills that also are represented in this package. So the City Council and the Planning Commission have had a couple joint work sessions on these provisions. The Planning Commission held the first public hearing on April 15th, and at the end of that hearing, after hearing no questions, comments, or concerns, they did vote for a recommendation that council approve the amendments as presented. What you see in your staff report are some pretty simple findings related to the statewide housing goals and statewide planning goals, rather, the Hubbard Development Code and the Hubbard Comprehensive Plan. Just to touch base on a couple of those briefly, Goal 1 is about citizen involvement, and Goal 2 is about land use planning procedures. Those are the goals that we follow to ensure that when the city enacts legislative amendments, you provide opportunities for your community to participate in that process. They receive notice and they have a chance to participate and testify. The other goals that are most important this evening are, of course, Goal 10, which is your housing goal. Broadly, Hubbard's comprehensive plan has goals and policies related to providing a variety of housing types locally, with the understanding that one size does not fit all, and there are different housing types available for different stages of life. And then at the end of the findings here, you have your city council options. Attached to the staff report, Exhibit A are comments received from the Oregon Housing and Accountability and Production Office, or HAPO, and those came from our DLCD representative. And then Exhibit B is the package of legislative amendments proposed. Just to touch briefly on the comments that we've received back from DLCD, their comments following one of the last work sessions were related to parking for duplexes, parking for ADUs, and then clear and objective criteria. And so you'll remember back in 2018, Hubbard and a number of other cities worked quickly to come into compliance with Senate Bill 1051, which at that time was requiring cities over 2,500 population to provide for ADUs. A lot of cities hurried and adopted their standards, and then the state came along afterward with their kind of code template or their sample code. And so these changes in here related to ADUs are, we knew they were coming, and so they've been included into the attached package. I won't belabor the details in Exhibit B. I will briefly run through them. I know we've talked about them several times, and I know you have other items on your agenda this evening. Overall, this package includes some revisions to the definitions section of your development code, specifically related to different housing types. Also, this package of code amendments allows for the development of duplex type housing. That's 2 dwelling units on all lots where previously single family homes were allowed. So you'll see in each of your residential zones, for example, we've struck the minimum lot size for duplexes. It now is the same minimum lot size as single family homes. We've also provided opportunities for middle housing land divisions, so changing the minimum lot size on like townhouses, so they are consistent with the new housing bills as well. We've also added provisions for single room occupancy, also known as SROs, which is where you have multiple housing units that have kind of a shared kitchen and other shared facilities within the same building. And so this package of code amendments is intended to comply with HB 3395. But we know that there are additional revisions that need to be made to the Hubbard Development Code. And so we would expect those revisions to follow right after this package is completed. Specifically, with Senate Bill 1537, we know that there need to be some changes to the way that the city of Hubbard processes their land use applications, who is the deciding body of each of those and what procedures you use. We had received a little more clarification from DLCD in April, and so we know that that package is coming next. So what that means is the last 3 pages of this package, which are the procedures section in Chapter 3 of the Hubbard Development Code, you will see this section change again in the next few months. But as of this evening, this is the package that staff and the Planning Commission are recommending the City Council approve and direct staff to present an enacting ordinance. That concludes my staff report. I'm happy to answer questions now, or we can open it up for public testimony first. Thank you.
So before we go to public testimony, are there any questions from the staff or city council about this amendment? Right, or ordinance? Shoot, amendment, sorry.
I do have one comment here. On page 46, we've got lots of letters that OPQ. R has been struck out completely and S has been added. That S would actually be R in that paragraph. You see that?
Yeah, so these, I appreciate your sharp eye. When the code is combined into the master document, this type of clerical error can be caught by the staff performing that. Thank you. I will make a note of that right now.
That's on this point. Having difficulty with the blue or the black, but I was able to get some bright light and get the work down. Other than that, that's all I have.
Councilor Michelle?
No, I just appreciate all the work everyone's done. I know it's been a long process. I think all looks good.
Councilor Dow
No question or comments, just appreciate the work done.
and city staff.
No comments. Thank you.
This is going nice and smooth. Let's go ahead. I will now accept public testimony regarding the amendments. So is there anyone who would like to speak in support of the amendments? And I see no new faces online, same audience. So is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to the amendments? I still see nobody new. Is there anyone who would like to speak neither for nor against the amendments? Stay neutral. Lots of neutral people. And would the city council like staff to address any of the testimony, which we did not have? So I think we can move on. But before I close or continue the public hearing, are there any additional questions from the city council or staff to anyone? As a reminder, once I close the hearing, only the councilors or staff may speak. Okay, so public testimony is now over. I will close the public hearing at 6:53 p.m. and I'll now entertain discussion on the amendments or a motion.
Discussion.
Any discussion? Okay, somebody want to make a motion?
I'll go ahead and make a motion to adopt ordinance 395-2025, an ordinance amending the Hubbard Development Code and plans.
Are you trying to do the one on A?
Oh,
Page five of the staff report has your motions for this portion of
I
it.
think A is the one you're looking for.
Oh, I see.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
A motion to approve legislative amendment package, number LA 2025-01 revisions to the Hubbard Development Code. Adopt the findings contained in the staff report and direct staff to present an enacting ordinance.
I second that.
So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. Okay, so we have passed that unanimously. So now, I believe we go to the calendar of ordinances, right? And this is where we enact it. Okay. So on section 4, it says ordinance number 395/2025, an ordinance amending the Hubbard Development Code to comply with recent legislative housing bills to local housing provisions. So we're gonna need,
I make a motion to read by title only for the first reading.
I second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So it's an ordinance number 395/2025, an ordinance amending the Hubbard Development Code to comply with recent legislative housing bills to local housing provisions.
Make a motion to read by title only for second reading.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So it's an ordinance number 395-2025, an ordinance amending the Hubbard Development Code to comply with the recent legislative housing bills to local housing provisions.
I make a motion to adopt ordinance number 395-2025.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So I believe we have everything we need. So, thank you. Okay, so we were able to get done with the banner discussion already. So next, we have a discussion and evaluation of the city's prescription drug return box program. So City Administrator, would you fill us in on the details of that?
Yeah, thank you, Council. So the prescription drug return box was implemented over 10 years ago to provide a safe, convenient, and environmentally responsible way for residents to dispose of unused or expired medications. This initiative aimed to reduce drug misuse, prevent accidental poisoning, and protect water supplies from contamination. However, a recent review during the police department's reaccreditation process revealed that the current drop box location in City Hall, which is the one right here by the refrigerator, does not meet DEA security standards. The following standards are not being met with it in its current location. The box is not monitored by staff and/or cameras regularly. The City Hall is accessible to public after hours, increasing risk of theft, tampering, and unauthorized access. Unsupervised use of shared spaces like city council chambers by nonprofit near the drop box heightens liability concerns for the city. Despite the concerns, the program has supported public safety, environmental protection, and community engagement, and provides easy disposable access, which has likely prevented the misuse of leftover medication and contributed to safer households. Staff is recommending that an evaluation be completed to determine if there is a more secured, monitored location that aligns with DEA standards, or if considering replacing the drop box with participation in the DEA's National Prescription Drug Take Back Day, offering at least one secure annual disposal option. So staff will turn it over to council for discussion.
Councilor Zadi, do you have any thoughts or?
I kind of like the idea of the one annual one. I think it might be a lot easier, but I'm open to suggestions.
Yeah, a couple of things is I know, other locations such as Safeway. Now, I'm not quite sure how they get away with it out there. I know that they have to unlock the door for you to put medications in it, and then they'll relock it for you. But it sits now right beside their pharmacy. I don't know if there's a camera on it or what, but it's, they're available 24/7. Other possibilities is, I know at my home, I think I still have two of these no-cost mail-in bags. they're just little envelopes, you can throw your medication in there, seal it up and toss in the mail. It's, that easy. And, so that's a possibility. We could have a supply of those here, in place of the drop box. Those are two possible ideas, and we would publicize that, maybe put a, signage, or at least have, available at the window so people would know, they'll answer those questions. I've used that drop box myself several times, but I understand there is a concern there.
Councilor Michelle?
Yeah, so I actually saw this was on the agenda, and then that same day I got a little card in the mail. You can drive through and drop off your prescription drugs at a place in Woodburn on May 29th. I don't know how often they do this. There's a website attached to it as well, and a phone number, so I could probably call and get more information, but even if we did like a quarterly thing, like on a day, just have people come through and drop off whatever they want. Yeah, I thought the timing on that was pretty funny, but yeah, I don't think, having the box here, I'm not sure how much use it gets. I would imagine probably not that much, because there's so many other places around that do the same thing. Just having it less frequently, but more in a more organized way, I think would make a lot more sense.
No, I agree. It seems like it would be almost more difficult to have somebody let you in here, and you have to know it's here. So either doing it something to coincide with a city council meeting, having it available, or else doing like a once a year drop off, I think would make sense. But I can see with all the risks, and we definitely want to take the advice when people are accrediting us seriously. So I think I like the idea of the mailers, having those available. As far as like how to do the recommendation, basically you just take what we talked about, right? And that's sort of the idea. Or what do you need from us, I guess is the
Are there any more comments?
Just direction.
Yeah, I mean, I actually like all of the direction. I didn't know about the bags, so
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, I could probably bring one down tomorrow, and I don't know, it's a Rita mail. I don't know where it gets paid from. There's this, of course, there's a minimum stamp on there, and post office knows who to charge, but should be some sort of information on the bag. I can find them now. I know I still have two of them left, that's what I saw, but things have moved around in the house a lot recently.
So I think what I'm hearing is removing the box is probably a good idea, but having something that the city, like either an annual day or a more often drop off day, and then potentially getting those mailers. I think those mailers are a really great option. And we can either have them, I don't know, the police window or the city council window, if that's appropriate. Not council, sorry, the city hall window.
Yeah, people can just come pick them up.
Yeah, when people
People just mail in at their convenience, that's easy.
So yeah, if you guys can look into the mailers and then figure out some kind of a drop off day or event, I think that'd be a good option. So that's what I'm hearing. So, sounds about right.
I get very good for those who find it.
So what staff will do, I'll work with the chief and we'll figure out some drop-off days because it has to be handled by law enforcement or medical professional. And then, yeah, I'd like to have some bags located here so that we can give those out to our community members that come in to drop off, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, I think having something available for people that are coming to look for it would be really handy. So I think that's a good call.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
So on that, number 7, discussion regarding donation to the Read and Write program at North Marion Primary School. And this again will be City Administrator Sean Lake.
All right, thank you, Council. The Read and Write program is a literacy initiative launched by North Marion Primary School to encourage reading through an engaging and rewarding challenge. Students earn tickets for every 20 minutes of reading, aiming for a school-wide goal of 4,000 tickets. The program includes weekly milestones, fun rewards, and a final student-voted celebration involving the principal. The purpose of the program is to support early literacy, apparently I need that, and critical factor in long-term student success and fostering collaboration and school spirit throughout collective goal setting. The funds will be used by purchasing weekly prizes and extra raffle items, hosting milestone celebrations, and provide materials for the end of program event. The request is for $300, which could be paid out of the general fund discretionary line items within that budget. The city's donation would be reinforcement for our values of youth engagement, education, and public partnership. And with that, I'll turn it over to council for discussion.
How about Councilor Pichelle? What are your thoughts?
This is a fantastic idea. I remember as a kid, when the Pizza Hut did a summer reading thing, and you could get a free pizza, and I just thought that was so cool. So I got to read books and get a free pizza. So I am definitely in favor of this donation for sure.
Councilor Young?
Yeah, it seems like a relatively minor donation to support a very good cause.
Councilor Zott?
I think it's a good, way to put the city out there, show us in a positive light. Reading is extremely important. We should back it.
And I also ate many of those little pizzas growing up. I agree, some kind of a program to get kids reading books. It's not only fun, it's just good for so many reasons. So, I think it's unanimous. We recommend that we do make the thing. Do we need to make a motion on this one?
Yes, please.
Because there's money. Okay.
I move that we approve the, $300 donation to the, what is it called? Read and Ride program at the North Marion Primary School.
Make a second on that motion?
Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. And it's another pass. Okay. Thank you for bringing that to us.
Well, thank the chief, because he brought that to me.
Well,
First year.
Okay. So it looks like we're ready for other agency reports, and we're gonna start with Fire Chief Michael Carmen. Can you hear us today?
Yeah, can you guys hear me all right?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. Just give you a report out on the month of April. We had 69 calls for service. Out of those 69 calls for service, a lot of them were fire related. We had a 2-alarm fire in St. Paul. Also, we had a 2-alarm grass fire in St. Paul. 3 barn fire, 3 separate barns caught on fire at one incident in Monitor. And then we had a natural gas leak as a result of the road work in front of the fire station. So call-wise, it was a pretty busy month for us. Also have levy stuff going on still, right? The election's next Tuesday. And then we're getting all our trucks ready for the next year. We have our years we kind of view as starting in summertime. So a lot of maintenance on the trucks, preventative maintenance, and then a lot of testing, hose testing, pump testing, ladder testing. We all got it all completed and everything came back looking good. So we're ready for this upcoming year. You guys got any questions for me?
Councilor Zott, do you have any questions?
no question.
Councilor Young?
Yeah, the budget committee meeting is the 27th, is that correct?
Yes, sir, that is correct. The 27th at 6 p.m. at the fire station.
Okay, thanks. That's all I have.
Councilor Michelle?
No questions, thank you.
And just thank you for all the amazing service you guys do, and I hope your levy passes.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Okay, moving on to, Wait. Okay, that's other agencies. So now, the appearance of interested citizens. And we have nobody online and nobody in the audience, so I think we can move on to the next section. So mayor and council's presentations. So, just go around again. Councilor Pichelle, do you have anything you'd like to share tonight?
I do not have anything this month. Thank you.
Councilor Young?
Actually, yes, I do. Bit torn between whether I want to do this as an interested citizen or as a council member, but either way, I'm gonna do it. I was mentioning earlier that, a lot of stuff moved around my house, and I finally ran across something that was put away by my wife, probably about 15, 14 years ago. I kept threatening to do this, threatening to do it. I finally did it. I found my sesquicentennial coins. Oregon, Marion County sesquicentennial coin, 150 miles, 150 years, metal medallion. I have two, front and back, donated to the city of Hubbard by Jim Young.
Wow.
On the eBay, they're worth about $20 a piece. I went ahead and mounted them up so they look nice. Don't drop it, the coins will fly around like that a couple of times.
Wow.
Something for the cat.
It's really cool. Thank you so much. Your main comment.
Yeah, it's really, yeah, but yeah, my wife was good about hiding things that I've been going through. Oh my gosh. And I ran across it. I go, finally, I've been looking for those things. So
Very cool.
Thank you.
thank you. So down to the staff, so they can kind of eyeball it. It's gonna be for you guys to put away.
Thank you.
Councilor Lund, do you have anything there? And I do not have any presentation for tonight, so we'll move on. Okay, so city administrator report. So let's go ahead and start with the city administrator, John Wick.
Okay, thank you, council. As of April 30th, the city is 83% through the fiscal year. Revenue tracking indicates solid performance across key sources, including property tax, service fees, and utility charges at approximately 97% of budgeted amounts have already been received. In the month-over-month report, there are several variances in salary and benefits. This is a result of an adjustment that was made to payroll allocations to ensure that the city is capturing the appropriate areas in which employees are working. Utilities are projected to be over budget in the general fund by approximately $8,120 by the end of the fiscal year. And the Parks Improvement Fund reflects minimal expenditures to date. However, that will change significantly over the next couple of months as the work for the refurbishing of the tennis courts is underway. So thank you, Superintendent Oliger, for getting that going for us. Also, staff is happy to announce that ODOT has identified a proposed location for an illuminated crosswalk on Highway 99E. They are working through engineering and final scoping. Additionally, ODOT asked if Canby would be interested in relocating the bus stops for CAT to align with the new crosswalk. Staff met with the Canby city manager and the transportation supervisor, and the initial conversations indicated that they would be open to relocating the bus stops. Also, just a quick note, included in the consent agenda, a letter of support for the city of Woodburn's grant application to assist with their emerald ash borer mitigation plan. It's included, this grant will support the removal of infested ash trees and the replanting of new beetle-resistant species. The emerald ash borer poses a significant threat to the local tree populations, and Woodburn's proactive approach will not only protect the urban forests, but will also help prevent the spread of the infestation to surrounding communities, including ours. Supporting this grant application aligns with the regional efforts to protect environmental health and tree canopy resilience across the area. And then one additional item that I'll add is the next town hall is June 11th, 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. here in the council chambers. And that concludes my report. Are there any questions?
Councilor Dodd, do you have any questions?
No question.
Leon?
I have no questions for that in particular. Gotta address this now. So we got our City of Hubbard issue tracker.
Mhm.
And the only comment I have is, can we take the item and move it to the left-hand side? Would that be, cause a lot of difficulty if you did that? And then move the item and move it to the left-hand side? Makes it, that way we can kind of look and see what it is. Instead of date. And instead of just looking at the date.
Sure.
I don't know if anybody else, I was looking at I was going, okay, here's the dates, and I'm dragging myself across, 4 columns to the 5th column for figure out what it is that we're actually working on. So I don't know if that's something with the, I know it's a small sheet, luckily. It is now. I'd like to see that change. If that's not too difficult to do, I don't know if it's
Yeah, super.
something I like to drag and drop.
Sounds good. Councilor Bishop?
I have nothing. Thank you.
Okay. On the beetles, I know, from what I understand, it's no cost to us, it's just supporting going for a grant to work on that.
Right, and so one thing that I've really appreciated is Woodburn's partnership with Hubbard through many different projects, through economic development, through anyway, housing funding. Or CBD, whatever, it's a grant. Through getting grant funding for housing support for our community members. And this is just one initial thing to add. So they're gonna be fighting these beetles because they have infested along Mill Creek in their area. They will be watching what's happening in Hubbard. So this is actually an additional service at no cost to us. So again, I just can't thank Woodburn enough for all the help and support that they provide Hubbard.
When you mentioned that they had already checked to see if we have them, I just wanted to make sure we thank them for looking out for us in the meantime. So I'm really excited to support it. So thank you for bringing that. I think that's everything. So, Chief Priestley.
All right, thank you. Good evening, council. I just wanted to start off by highlighting this particular week is known as the National Police Week, May 11th through 17th. So I just kind of wanted to note that, and as we all set time aside across the country to kind of honor the service and sacrifice of our law enforcement officers, we reflect on the courageous men and women, past and present, who have dedicated their lives to protecting others. We also remember those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty. And here in our own department, I just kind of wanted to recognize our Hubbard Donald police officers and their professionalism, integrity, and commitment that they display, as well as our professional staff every day. They respond to calls to help the community out at all hours of the day and night. They face unpredictable challenges and they serve with dedication. Also, I want to thank our city administrator, Sean Waite, city leadership throughout the city of Hubbard and Donald, as well as our professional staff, like Julie and Megan and everybody at Public Works, and just our communities in general, as well as you all, the council and whatnot. We couldn't do what we do without everybody's support, because public safety is truly a community effort, a team effort. So it's not just the police department and whatnot. So I just wanted to highlight that as well. I think that strong partnerships between the community and city staff and government, public safety is truly essential on keeping and communities safe and healthier. And that's what makes it possible. So I just kind of wanted to start off and note that. And big thanks to our police officers. As far as my report goes, give an update on Officer Montez. His training's going well. He just completed phase 3. He's entering phase 4 right now, and he's excited about that. We're still continuing to help him, and just want to thank everybody again for their support. Hiring, we have just sworn in our 6th and final position, if you will, Officer Corey Yakis. So we are technically fully staffed, which is exciting. Officer Yakis was sworn in on May 1st, and he comes to us having already attended the police academy and successfully graduating that, and also came to us from another neighboring agency, a rather large agency, where he was already almost done with his field training. And during the background process and whatnot, they really talked about how great he was doing and whatnot. So he was really excited. He sought Hubbard out and really wants to serve in a small community, which is close to home. He actually has family that lives in Hubbard already as well. And so he's really excited to be here, and he's started off in his orientation phase of training right now as well. So we're acclimating him to our department policies and procedures, and some other protocol training and things of that nature as well. So really excited to have him. Sergeant Anderson just successfully completed the drone operators course training just recently. It's going to really enhance our department's capabilities in serving the community as it relates to public safety in a variety of different areas, really, with respect to potential search and rescue situations, different situational awareness matters that we face on a whole variety of different calls that we may have to respond to. And then, of course, emergency response and preparedness as well. So we're really excited about that. And that was all made possible by City Administrator Waite's forward thinking and leadership, as she noticed CIS was offering a grant. And so we applied for that with her support, and we actually got it. And it was so exciting too. I mean, how it went down, because there was 10 people that got these grants. And I had the pleasure of attending the CIS conference for the first time this year. And these grants were awarded to not just police departments, but they were awarded to public works. They were awarded to fire departments, police departments, and things of that nature. And so there, like I said, there was 10 of them, right? And so they were calling everybody out who got it. And it was kind of a lottery type system, I think it was, if I remember right. And then they picked our number. We were number 10. And so it was meant to be. It was just so great. So that was really exciting. I also got to attend the annual Chiefs Conference in April in Pendleton, and that was a great time. Officer Hart and Officer Montez, we were able to get them into some very valuable street survival seminar training for officer safety and whatnot, just in Clackamas. So that was really good. That training's been around since I was a cadet, years and years ago, and I attended it as well. And it's really good, valuable training. I'm sure it's just evolved over the years. And they commented how great it was also. And another huge highlight for April was the Easter egg hunt at Barnsley Park. So I was fortunate enough to make it there as well. And it was a great turnout. The weather was wonderful, and everybody just seemed to have a really awesome time. And it was fun interacting with everybody in that light. So that's pretty much it for, I think, my report. And if you all have any questions or anything.
How about Councilor Bishop?
No questions, Chief, but thank you to you and everyone in the department. You guys do a great job.
Thank you, sir.
Councilor Elmo?
Yes, usually we're losing officers to bigger departments. It's nice to see somebody from a bigger department coming down here for the, more of the get to know the community personal touch. And I do like that. That's a positive thing there on our new officer. And I don't know, this is something I need to talk to you offline about. It's just safety street survival seminar training. Is there anything that you're aware of, a version of that that might be for general public? You know,
That is a good question.
Stay out of this situation, watch out for that situation, more of a, for basically, I'm thinking, junior high, high school, middle school type kids.
Right.
Find themselves out there. I mean, we don't see a lot of it in Hubbard, but, maybe some of the larger cities might have something like that.
Yeah, you bring up a great question, and I'm sure there are. I can do some research on that, and we could even, as a department, sponsor some of that training as well, and put together some different variety of safety-related training for all different ages as well, including the school age population, as well as elderly and whatnot too. So that's a very good point.
I'm gonna jump in with my question first, because it goes right along with what he was saying. I thank you for letting me go on a ride along with you last week. Had a great time.
That's great.
Got to see you very compassionately handling people in crisis, and I appreciate that about you and your officers. And just on what Councilor Yonley was saying about situational awareness, we were talking about that on the ride along, just seeing some different stuff going on in the community. So I think that'd be a great thing if we could do some kind of a public outreach with bid along stuff. You bet, that's really cool. And I was wondering, as far as like the public being able to do ride-alongs, how would they go about, everybody that's watching this on YouTube, and how would they go about signing up or requesting a ride-along?
Yeah, that's a great question. They can just contact us here at the police department. We have a little bit of paperwork that is required for our policies that they would just have to fill out and sign, and then we could get in touch with them and set up a date and time that would work for them to come and ride. On that note as well, I'm excited to report that we've actually had a large number of ride-alongs here recently, and much at the school age level, which has been great. I think we've had 3 to 5 or something like that here recently, and we've just loved having them. The officers have reported that as well, and they just really enjoyed the interaction, and so we've seen an uptick in our ride-alongs just in the last month or two.
And that's a great segue to the last question I got from a community member. What's the youngest, or what's the age requirements?
Yeah, good question. So the youngest that's allowed per policy would be age 14, but it would have to have a parent's signature on that, approving the ride-along as well.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's some stuff that's come up through the community. So, Councilor Zani.
Hi, Chief. First, I want to start with a thank you. Second, super happy to see the development of the 2 new officers. Really happy about that. Quick question about Sergeant Anderson. Does he get a pilot's license for that?
He did.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
What is that size?
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yeah, it was pretty intense training, he said, and it involved a very intense written test as well, and then some practical training also. It was 2 different weeks that were separated by just a little bit of time, and it's down in Albany, and yeah.
I think it's going to be a great addition. I just wanted to piggyback on Councilman Yonley's comment too. I think that Street Smart thing is a great idea to do with the kids. I think the kids especially, because it'll give them a chance to bond with police instead of gangs.
Okay. I like it.
And giving them something to look out for, because there are some rougher areas, and so I think it'd be a massive help. Massive. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh, my last question. Does the drone have infrared?
No, this particular one does not. But we're looking to, as the program grows and into the future, there are drones out there that do have that, and we'll certainly look at that as we progress.
Thank you so much.
I was gonna say, it's kind of customary in the flying world to rip off the back of the shirt.
Oh,
So you're gonna need to get into the shirt.
okay, I'll do it.
It's an age-old thing, and all of us are going through.
Okay, thank you.
I can just see it.
I know, right? Me too, right? Just picture them.
Be really cool to see a prompt uniform to the FBO. That would be neat.
Okay, and then last thing, just happy Police Officers Week. I didn't realize that was going on, but we were very thankful for you guys and
Thank you, appreciate it very much.
okay, next, it should be Public Works, yep. Melinda Oliver, do you have a report? Sorry, Vicky. I knew I should have read it and not just gone off memory. Sorry. Backtrack. To Administrative Department Director Admin, Vicky Noble.
Well, I know where you don't offer as exciting ride-alongs, the police department. You offer ride-alongs during court day if y'all want. So, land use planning, the plan commission meeting for May is going to be canceled. We do have a scheduled meeting, a joint, hopefully, council can attend the joint work session with planning on June 17th to go over the buildable lands inventory and the economic opportunity analysis. So you guys write that on your calendar. 6:30. Okay, and then, I have a pretty short report. Building permits, we're kind of on a downhill slide from, 2023, you can look at my chart there. Looks like, back in 2020, we had quite a few. Went downhill to 2022, uphill, and now we're back down again. So I'm hoping that we're gonna start going up the hill again, and have some more permits, submitted. And on the back, I have the, court, municipal court, Donald and Hubbard. And we had quite a few citations this month, submitted, and also revenue, quite a bit. So that's good to see.
Counselor Lottie, do you have any questions?
No questions. Thank you.
And Counselor Youngman?
I have no questions, thank you.
What's your second?
No, 17th is fine.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I will try really hard not to pick up overtime again for that day. And as far as like sitting in for the court session, what does that look like?
The court session?
Yeah, we just, sit in the audience or?
You can, yeah, you can come and sit in court and while the judges, or you can come in our office and watch us work.
Afraid your office would might get my toes stepped on. Tight quarters and
It was extremely busy on Friday.
what day's court?
It's, well, this week, or this month, it'll be May 21st at 1:30, which is next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday? Okay.
And then after that, the next one will be June 4th. And that will be at 1:32 on a Wednesday.
Okay.
So you're very welcome to come to either one.
I just might do that. Okay,
It's not Judge Judy, it's not TV court.
I bet they spice it up a little. Okay, so on that note, we can go to the Public Works Department, Public Works Superintendent Melinda Oliver. Would you share with us?
Yeah, so thank you. So one of the things I did want to share is, Public Works also has a week, and, that happens to be next week, starting on the 18th through the 24th. This has been a tradition in the Public Works, world since 1960. Our 2025 theme is People, Purpose, and Presence, which, really highlights the 3 cornerstone ideals that motivates, those Public Works professionals to serve in their communities every day. And it really is an honor and a privilege for me to take this moment to recognize and extend a sincere thank you to your Public Works team, which includes our Public Works foreman, Mike Krebs,
utility worker 2, Juan Hernandez, and utility workers 1, both Bill Doversberg, and utility worker 1, Aaron Caballero. And then also our Public Works Administrative Assistant, Molly King, for all of the dedicated work that they do every day. A lot of that kind of behind the scenes to advance the quality of life for our community. Each of them really truly fills a critical role within our team and brings their own unique strengths and experience, which when combined is what I feel really continues to build on our team strength every day. And we just get stronger and stronger every day. So again, a big shout out to them for what they do for the community. Also wanted to share, we have actually started our street painting. It did get pushed back a little bit this week because it was a little bit too wet to be out there and painting. But we are moving forward with that, so that is happening. Also a note that staff did apply for a special city allotment grant. As noted in my report, this application is proposing a combination of reconstruction, grind, and overlay work on D Street. The grant application is specific to the areas of 2nd and 3rd, Second to Third, and which also encompasses that small portion of 2nd Street that is in pretty bad condition. It puddles with water. So we're kind of, if we get the grant, the idea is to come up about 50 feet into 2nd Street as well to smooth that out and make that a little bit safer and better. And then it also includes 4th through 7th Streets as well. If the funding is awarded, we'll come back to council at that time to request acceptance of the grant and authorize for execution of the agreement. And also, if we get to that point where the grant's been awarded and accepted, the plan is to also include as a potential option add-in for the sections of 1st to 2nd and 3rd to 4th. And then if the bid numbers come in favorable, then we can add those into the project. But on the flip side, if bids come in a little bit higher, we don't overextend ourselves in our street construction fund, and we'll still be able to do what we commit to do, what we actually committed to do. So. Also, just to note that we are, Memorial Day weekend is definitely quickly approaching, and so we're already mobilizing, getting ready to be opening up the splash fountain for the Memorial Day weekend. The administration and police security windows project is moving forward. A contractor has already been selected and awarded, and I'm anticipating that the project will be complete by the end of June. Staff is also working with our integrator of record on upgrades for the SCADA system on some internal issues that we've been experiencing. This is one of our most critical systems that monitors both the water and wastewater systems, providing detailed information, but it also is our first alert and sends out alarm callouts when there are issues that develop within our water and wastewater systems. So it is critical that we keep that up, moving forward and updated, et cetera. So, also, we just recently conducted interviews for our open temporary seasonal position and are planning to extend an offer of employment to one of the applicants. So that will be moving forward soon. We're also moving forward on our rate study and anticipate official project start for that on June 2nd. The distribution line upgrade portion of the water project is on track for completion in June. And also, just a note that I'm actually looking forward to our meeting with all of you in our budget committee tomorrow. So I look forward to tomorrow's meeting. And that's all I have for tonight, unless any of council have any questions.
How about Councilor Allen? Do you have any questions?
I do not have any questions. Public Works Department, thank you very much, and appreciate all the work you do over
Councilor Patel?
Like the police week, I didn't know there was a public works week, but that's pretty cool. So happy early public works week. Public works is probably one of the city functions that impacts people the most, I would say, because especially when there's a project going on, people are driving around and seeing it all the time. And so I think it's great to highlight the work that's being done by the public works staff for sure. I like living in a city where things are getting done, and it's nice to see it. So I don't have any questions, so thank you.
Thank you.
Councilor Allen?
So I say thank you for all the work, and I hope that you get your grant for those streets.
Me too, thank you.
And not just because I live on one. Thank you.
I definitely wanted to also say happy Public Works Week next week. It's really cool. Thank you for sharing it with us. That's happening. It's all of the groups. I know we just got done with Nurses Week a week ago or last week. So it's just, all these weeks are really important just to share with the different people how much we do appreciate them. So happy Public Works Week. And I do have a question for you guys about ride-alongs. Do you accept high schoolers to ride along and learn more about public works?
I definitely think that would be fun, and that would be something that, I mean, assuming we get the okay to do that, then yeah, definitely. One thing I guess I forgot to mention too is, Sean actually had a student from North Marion that came to do a job shadow. And I felt really fortunate that she included Public Works in that. So I actually got to give a tour of our wastewater treatment plant, kind of in mixed stages of infrastructure improvement. And I was actually very impressed with the student that came. He asked some really good questions. And I felt like we both had a lot of fun. I hope Sean had a lot of fun because she joined in as well. But so something like that too. Sean and I have talked about potentially opening up to the community for some tours of some of our infrastructure, the water treatment plant, the wastewater treatment plant, et cetera. So yeah, ride-alongs would be great for, students to come and see actually what our utility workers do. And
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Would it be best just to come here to talk about having that up then, or email you guys?
so it'll be a little bit different process than what a police ride-along would be. I need to double check with CIS. Liability would be pretty high at the wastewater treatment plant. So one of the things that Melinda and I talked about, because that tour went so well, let's schedule on Saturday morning, come tour the wastewater treatment plant so you can see how everything works and what goes on behind the scenes to help educate our community a little bit more. And so it is all, our digesters, everything's all opened. So there is some liability there. So I want to talk to CIS about what kind of waiver we need people to sign and so forth.
Okay. Sounds good. It's exciting that our city can be so transparent that we can offer so many opportunities to watch and see what everybody's doing. So thank you for that.
Yeah, let's get a couple of comments on that is, I think I was in 5th grade going to North Marion, and we had a 5th grade field trip over here to the Hubbard wastewater treatment facility back then. One thing about Public Works is people don't think about it until they turn their faucet and the water doesn't come out, or they go to flush their toilet and it doesn't work. So the more we can highlight Public Works, it's not like the police department drives around through the community, has community actions, like quite as public facing as Public Works might be, but it's probably, it's the underpinning of the function of the city, really. So without the water coming on and the wastewater going away, and not many people are going to hang out for too long.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. My comments.
Okay, on that, thank you again to all the departments and all the hard work you do each month. So now we have the consent agenda, and I believe I read the titles of the consent agenda, and then we make a motion, or do we just make a motion for the consent agenda?
You can do it either way.
Either way.
It's not necessary to read the titles, but you can.
Okay. Well, then we'll just go ahead and leave the consent agenda as written. Would anybody like to make a motion to?
Actually, it says amendment.
Yeah.
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 Oh.
I make a motion.
Because you added something. Yeah, as amended.
Okay. Yeah.
So I make a motion to accept the consent agenda as amended with the 12G in there.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 So it passed. And then before the final point, I do want to say thank you so much to Counselor Yonley for helping me get through this meeting. Very helpful, thank you. And on that, I believe our next meeting is scheduled for June 10th, 2025. And we're now ready for one last motion. Somebody wants to make a motion to end the meeting.
I move that we adjourn tonight's meeting.
I second that motion.
All those in favor say aye.
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 It passes. So at 7:44, the meeting is over.
And don't forget tomorrow night, please.
Yeah.
Right, tomorrow night, but. Somebody has to hold their. It's really riveting in person. I highly recommend.